Okay. Hi, Gayle.
What's going on, AJ? The suburban princess,
As the moniker says, yes. AJ the Suburban Princess, yes. I say that because, as you've just witnessed, it's very hard for me to understand this whole technology portion of this going live bit. And I'm so used to just going into Anchor and just recording my thoughts. Birds of a Feather is on Spotify for those who are out there. So, my latest podcast, I decided to talk about mental health awareness because your girl's been going through a lot, and I'm sure a lot of people have been through this, post COVID slash panorama that's still here, but whatever.
there's a whole new world out here of mental
Let me just tell you,
goodness.
it's so easy to just get so, it can have, you can have flashbacks of this time a year ago when we didn't know what the hell was going to happen for the summer. And now I'm worried that everybody's going to get so lax that we just going to go right back to how we felt in the fall last year.
Well, you know what? When you're all stressed out, but you always know that you have the Eagles, who
Ah,
will also stress you out in their own way.
at least one of the four
Can we
will
get
make
back
you
to
pull
that?
your hair out. Yeah. If nothing
Can we
equals,
get that, back to that mental stress?
yeah, I'd rather have stress in my sports than stress in just general life. Like, I mean, I only go out occasionally. I'll be out in the heat this Sunday because my friend's having an outdoor belly dance workout class, and I'm like, the last thing I want to be is hot, but I
I've
want to
been out
show up for
twice.
sport.
I've been out twice in a week,
Yeah,
and I have
yeah,
allergies. On top of that,
yeah. And the allergies really don't help because as soon as it got warm consistently, then suddenly like my eyes are watering and I can't wear my contacts that long, and you just can't win. You
when
can't
people
win.
had allergies back in the day, that I look at them and laugh. I'm like, what is this allergies? You make this stuff up? And then all of a sudden, like 4 years ago, I get allergies now.
I didn't have them until I swear my mid 30s, and that's all of a sudden when I started feeling the itchies, like extra, like that whole feeling in your throat, especially in the middle of the night when you're like you feel like you got to guzzle like five,
My throat,
five like
my throat closes up.
oh,
My
it's
eyes
like
itch.
ugh. The eyes itch, and usually with me, it's
Water.
for some reason it switches one eye. Like sometimes it's just my right eye that wants to be an idiot. I swear I have some kind of gland issue on this eye, and some days I just feel like I'm sitting there going, if I rub it anymore, it's gonna look like somebody punched me. But anyway, so needless to say, the reason why I wanted to test this out and stuff because I got my little green screen here and I like my little brick wall back here, but also I wanted to discuss in general what you feel like the birds are about to put us through even before preseason because I don't know. I'm still kind of numb. I'm still kind of like whatever. Um, I don't really have an opinion. So what have you been assessing this thus far?
I just feel like the the narrative right now is the Eagles are going to be like a 4-win football team, like amongst you know the talking heads, and I feel like that's where that talk. That's where I like the talk to be. I like the Eagles to be slept on. I feel like that whole underdog vibe is really what the Eagles kind of hone into. Like
Mhm.
are they underachievers, or are they going to be overachievers? I feel like Jalen Hurts, he's bringing a different energy and a vibe, and definitely you know he's a young gun. The team is starting to become young, and that's kind of fun for me to see the regrouping of this team. And I feel like overall, I think they could be a 500 football team, and that a 500 football team in the NFC East could get you in the playoffs. So like, I just don't like the whole talk of like, oh, they can't make the playoffs. Like, how many times have Eagle fans been wrong about this team and just
Yeah, that's because we know we're going through this phase and nobody is patient. We're now almost 4 years removed from the Super Bowl, and it almost feels like it's hopeless to even wish a lot about this team now that the quarterback's gone on to cult pastures, and we still got a tight end in flux, which I thought by now he would have been traded, but I guess Howie ain't trying to hear some of the numbers, I guess, for him. But I know that Zach is somewhere going, I don't freaking care, just get me out of here.
mm,
And I have no feelings toward Jalen. I'm slowly trying to warm up to him in the sense that like he's got a lot on his shoulders, but what what more can you expect from someone who just walked into this? So I don't feel like he deserves all that pressure. I think it should really come down to the guys that have been there and haven't been producing due to injury. I was actually more excited today to see on the social media of seeing Brandon Brooks practicing, which that made me happy. That's probably the only excitement I've had for the Eagles thus far, besides the obvious when we got Devonta. Is it Devontae? I keep forgetting.
Devontae,
It is
Devontae,
Devontae. Yeah, because I don't want to be that person. They were just talking about that on 97.5 a couple weeks ago, how we're just known to jack up people's names for their
like
whole tenure as Eagle.
Nelson Aguilar.
Aguilar. Somebody called yesterday on Mike Misnelli and jacked up for the Sixers, jacked up Ferkmon, called him Forkmond or something. Just
Nate Jerry,
yeah,
Chase Daniels,
Alshon
Daniel.
Jeffries.
We can go on.
It's like Walmart's. Everybody makes stuff plural when it doesn't need to be.
No, I think, but I think talking about Jalen Hurts, man, I think he represents new blood in the city, a new vibe, new attitude. I've said it before, like he lives in this coach speak, but he's not the cliche. Like some people might say these terms and they don't live it. Like, but I feel like he lives that. He's like he's a coach's kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's growing up in that environment, self-starter, self-motivated, very focused, very locked in, very stoic, unassuming. Yet he's unassuming. Yet he's got the flashiness of a star player. I feel like the likability factor is there, but in terms of just him as a football player, he's been doubted a long time. You talk about him coming in as a freshman, winning over that job at Alabama, being trusted by Saban to start on a championship football team as a freshman. To progress as a passer when he moved on to Oklahoma, being a Heisman runner-up. I thought he took his game to another level. Did I think he was going to get drafted in the second round when he did? I didn't. Maybe third round. But, he landed on the Eagles somehow, and here we are. But I feel like his ability to win over a locker room, something that they warned teams like, hey, you drafted Jalen Hurts. He's the kind of guy that can win over your locker room. And that's what happened in this locker room. All the players are buying in. And I feel like that whole Bama presence, whether it be between Devontae and Jalen and Landon Dickerson, that they come from winning programs. They winning mindsets. So I feel like it's great for the energy of the locker room and the youth movement. So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, the youth movement is great, but it's also unpredictable because you don't know how long it's going to take for them to gel. And I know it's premature to worry about all that stuff now, and it's May. But this is around the time when you kind of start hearing what these guys are actually like in terms of gelling on the field, even when they're just going through drills or walkthroughs or whatever. And I just worry that because I always start 8-8 when I don't know what to think about every season. I've been doing that even when Carson was here. I always start 8-8 when I have no idea what to think because there's no feelers right now because everybody, like you said, is new except for maybe like a couple. I'm glad that Lane is back to himself, but you don't know how long that'll last either. He had a very tricky ankle injury, but I mean, everyone's had more than enough time because if they weren't spending time in surgery, during the end of last season, COVID kind of limited a lot of stuff that they could still do. So, now it's like if you get any kind of videos, a lot of guys are kind of trying to find different ways to work out before mini camp starts. So, me personally, I don't want to say too much. I think that's why I wanted to chat with you because I'm just like, what are you feeling? Do you feel like we're just in our usual Negadelphia?
I think part of the fan base is, I feel like they just have this vibe of like, self-doubt. And I mean, it's normal for this fan base, but I feel like there's a part in time where you have to come to terms with like seeing new blood and seeing new energy being injected into this team. Like, I mean, I guess the fear of the unknown is always an issue with people.
That's the bottom line. I mean, that's all I get from what I've heard people talk. I mean, there's not much to really discuss thus far other than the rest of the draft, I kind of think made everybody kind of, well, basically once Devontae came, I was happy. Like I didn't really pay much mind to anybody else after that. I know that I really wanted the cornerbacks that went to other places, but I don't know. I mean, they're finding all these veterans too. Like, and they just, we have a linebacker from the Vikings now. I think we got a safety from the Vikings now.
Mhm.
So they're just bringing a lot of veteran talent that probably didn't get to really feel. And then we got Carry On from Detroit, right?
Yep. Well,
So,
I knew that vibe of like it's always whenever a new team starts to assemble, they're going to get pieces from their past, and you gotta, now you have a linebacker
mhm.
who, our linebackers coach had 2 years of experience with him before he even got here. You talk about Anthony Harris, who played in a Zimmer style defense. Obviously, Gannon got his roots learning from, a Zimmer defense. Obviously, it's going to be different, but they're going to show flashes of the Zimmer defense. The fact that they're going to be aggressive and, run to the football and be aggressive, get turnovers. And, I'm excited for I think the most important, I think the most exciting part for me is just the not knowing.
Yeah.
Normally, because I was like, after last season, I was like, yo, we need change.
Yeah.
We got a new head coach, new
Hmm.
defensive coordinator, new mindset. This whole idea of like younger players, new generation, new time. It's very true. Like, like the way that these players are learning, especially in a new pandemic state, like
Hmm.
coming out of, like,
Yeah.
I don't really feel like fans. Um, I mean, they might look around the league and like, well, the Bucks learn how to do it. Well, like, but not every facility was the same in a COVID type situation.
Right.
So they got it. They'll finally have an off season.
Yeah.
Hopefully, all the players are vaccinated. And were they forced to all get vaccinated?
Look, and I thought about that too, because I'm like, that's going to be an issue because I'm sure there are some people that are still going to be like, yo, we never got vaccinated before. We're not going to start now. Because I guarantee there's going to be still some people wearing masks on the sidelines. I guarantee you, because I know I'm keeping my mask with me. I'm not going to probably have it when it's hot, but I'm going to have at least 3 on me in my purse. Because
Did you get vaccinated yet?
oh yeah, I'm Pfizer all the way. I'm done.
I got my first shot.
You did?
But I was trying to hold out. I was taking the whole iPhone theory, like the first ones.
No, I just wanted more time to pass. I think
Yeah,
only
I mean,
from a neighbor is the only reason why I did it. Because other than that, I probably would have just waited longer.
I'm doing that I'm doing it for my dad, and
Yeah,
and my girl's mom is, so it's like you gotta think about. It's just a weird environment, like, like you talk about that, just like, hey, are these players vaccinated? Do they have
yeah,
to get the vaccination, or like,
yeah.
what is that whole scene like?
I mean, actors have to deal with it now too because the film industry is
Yeah,
starting to open up, and
I work in entertainment, so that's exactly.
I'm sure there's
Production
plenty of
sets
people who are not for it. Yeah,
are crazy now. It's like a whole. You got to be worried about everything now.
you do. I mean, and people are still getting it regardless. I mean, Bill Maher's shut down production for his last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
He still got it, even though he's still asymptomatic, and he had his vaccination.
and
So
the Yankee players that got.
yeah, yep. They just said somebody, and I thought somebody in NBA had it too, but maybe that was MLB. But the point is, it's just to me, it's one of those things. It's just I just wouldn't get too comfortable thinking everything's going to go back to normal because I mean, this was never going to be normal. I mean, these are one of these things that it's like unless you take it seriously, and if you know somebody or somebody who knows somebody who had it, it's like that means eventually, no matter what you've done, things could still happen. And
Yeah,
you just pray you don't have the worst symptoms of it. I mean, I know for me, I got the flu shot. I started getting it like less than 10 years ago. And, I'm used to the sore arm. I'm used to, kind of almost feeling like you get like a head cold, but then don't. So Pfizer, the first one, I actually felt that way more than the second one. The second one, I actually was just, I just felt like I had like a stuffy head and that was it. Like I didn't feel like dramatic, but and you are sleepy because I mean it's still kind of working with your system. But yeah, I mean for those who are conspiracy theory believers and those who just refuse to flat out do anything about it,
I mean, it's funny because like in the black community, like
yeah,
I mean, you're almost like raised to be
yeah.
to be a conspiracy theorist. So I mean, like
We talked about
you
that
get
because I
it.
wasn't. I told you. I think I told you last year I wasn't trying to get it. I wasn't rushing to get it. I wasn't rushing to get it.
Um, but it is, it is,
Yeah.
my dad wanted it, then he didn't want it. Now he's like back to not wanting it, and now we're just looking at him like, bruh, you're one of the
Yeah.
you're one of the dudes that need it.
Yeah.
He's in his 80s, so it's like, but he's like, I made it to my 80s. Do I need to get a vaccine? I lived through the civil
I
rights
done lived
movement.
my
Huh?
life. What's the point?
If I can make it through the civil rights movement, what do you think you mean I need to get a vaccine? I'm like, all right, Oh, by the way, I was like, yeah. I told my brother, I was like, yeah, I'm going on with my friend AJ, and he's like, AJ, is she the one that's always on TV? Like, I was, he had like he had a starstruck moment. And
Aw.
he was like, oh, AJ's great. He's like, he's like, she always has well thought out things to say.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I called today because since it was Natalie's last show, I felt I'm
That
shocked.
was crazy.
Yeah, I got through at the last moment, and I
Yeah.
didn't think I was because it was going towards sound off hour, and usually that's when they cut off everybody. But yeah, I got through and wished her well, and
That's
yeah,
great, man. She's been grinding, man.
yeah. I mean, look, she did her time, and I think like everybody who goes through their that experience there, at some point there's something that opens up that could probably get you somewhere further. So yeah, she's
Hey,
still
man.
young, so she got
Again,
to start building her stacks.
I'm just always appreciative of people in this industry that grind and they don't stop.
Yeah,
I mean that's she's been grinding, dude.
she's been doing it for a while, and I didn't even know I didn't know of her honestly until she came off of Fanatic. Now knowing that some of the stuff she said she had done before then, I was like, oh wow, I didn't even know.
We were all on the cruise ship together.
That's right. I remember that. I know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I don't think I took any shots with her on the ship. I think I just took it with y'all. And
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I do remember that. Yep. So that's when I started actually chatting her up, and then started following her social media and stuff. And then the Mike Scott night at North Bowl 3 years ago was the last time I saw her and took a picture with her. And she was just a sweet then. And yeah. But at that point, I was burning up because I had drank so much. Well, not so much, but I drank and danced, so I was just feeling funky as hell. I wish I'd had an extra top or something because I was sweating. But it was a fun experience, and wherever she goes, I'm sure she'll be fine because she got that experience now.
No, it is great to have these moments with like so many Eagle fans or just like Philly sports fans. There's fans that like one sport, two sports. There's the 4 for 4s or like,
Right.
but there are some like diehard fans that just show up to all types of events.
Yeah, they just love sports. Yeah, and I'm trying to learn hockey. Like I'm trying to be more interested as I go, but it's not really.
I
It's
tried.
not really as interesting until they go really far. But I've
Tried.
started. I've tried. I mean, I've even sat through some games from beginning to end, and I was shocked at how I got into it for a hot minute. But it was honestly more exciting when they did the Stadium Series. That was probably when I really started to like the idea of trying to learn hockey. But
It's more exciting when you go.
yeah,
Yes,
it is.
but like I tried, man. I tried. I tried.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, football will always be my first love. But I just went to the Sixers game last weekend because I couldn't sell my tickets, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because I
You
hadn't
still
been.
have them?
Huh?
You still have tickets?
No. I already went. It was last Sunday. Like I went to the season finale, and I was trying to sell them, and nobody was biting, and I was just like, all right. So then me and my friend were already out because she was performing somewhere down in South Philly, and I figured, well, if I'm in the city, I might as well go. But I was totally not dressed for the game, but I had so much fun, and so yeah. I mean, I look, if I was a diehard and had season tickets, I would definitely be excited to go to the playoffs game this weekend, but no, I'm not paying that much. And plus, at this point, I'm like, I already blew my little budget for the week, so I'm not trying to do anything unless I'm getting tickets for free or I win some. So
Even
it's
if I
not,
got free tickets, I probably wouldn't go.
huh?
I said even if I got free playoff tickets for hockey, I wouldn't go.
Well, I say that, but then when Terry had won tickets, I went with her to a Flyers game way back when. But we had more fun because we were in the suite, so I just had more fun because I didn't pay. Well, did we pay for food? I remember I just eaten and just was like, "Ooh, I feel bougie. I'm in the suites, you know. Being in the suites is fun."
If you're in a suite, it's a different vibe.
That's what I'm saying. Like any sweet life you have for any event is awesome. So I would do it again.
Like
But
even like watching baseball,
yeah,
like my dad and my brother are like huge. Like I'm a Philly fan. I'm not a huge Philly fan like I used to be.
yeah,
I mean, I got Phillies gear,
yeah.
but I'm not like I'm just locked into the Eagles. But my
No,
dad and my brother watch every single game religiously. They don't miss a game. They haven't missed a game in probably the last 3 years. They watch every single game.
mm.
That's a lot of games to watch.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Phillies never ends. Like I find myself like if I'm watching a little bit, it'll probably be the ninth inning because once they get to the point where they start like last night was painful. I'm glad I didn't see the rest of that game, but the fact that they didn't score at all, those are the games I'm kind of like I'm tuning out. But
My my
being at a
dad
game is
my
fun.
dad falls asleep with his Phillies hat on every day,
Yeah,
every night.
yeah.
It's like his security blanket is his Phillies hat.
My dad too. He was religious about that when my parents were still married. He was down here every game, and there was always an excuse to wear. Like now, my mom, I think, is pissed that I'm becoming him. Like if I'm not working late online, I'm sitting in front of the television going, "There's got to be something on. There's got to be something on." And if there's not, I go right to the cooking channel or watching
HGTV,
HGTV and
old head channel.
only Food Network, unfortunately, because cable's such a ripoff. So she only let me have but so many channels.
I mean, I stopped really watching cable. I have
Yeah.
YouTube. Whatever the TV or whatever.
Yeah, the TV. Yeah, okay. We're about to head in that direction. I think she's finally convinced that we both don't watch enough to really keep cable. Like, I mean, everybody has a channel, an app. So it's
I
like,
love YouTube. I love Twitter. I'm
mhm.
getting things live as they come.
Yeah,
I'm second season into Snowfall.
I know everybody's talking about that show. Yeah, I
Man, listen,
I've been all about Good Girls, but go ahead.
John Singleton, like R.I.P. Like he did his thing in this. It's
I know.
definitely
I hear.
it's
Yeah,
definitely I got forced into watching Power.
yeah. We
Like
don't.
I watched Power, but when you like watch something on TV and then you get to the 8th episode and they're like, oh, the 9th and 10th you gotta like pay for. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
So then I stopped watching it. So then
yeah,
I picked it up, watched that whole 6 seasons through, and I'm like, I need a break. I finished it. I was just like, let me check out this Snowfall, and then I was getting those Boys in the Hood vibes, just like the
hmm
way the storytelling was and the attachment to the character. Like I was like, I'm already into halfway through season 2, and I'm like, it's pretty good.
Well, I know
And it's a
people.
story. It's a story that I've actually followed. Like the whole
It kept you.
like how crack was like pushed on.
Yeah, because I
We
watch
went from
documentaries. There was a crack documentary on Netflix, so that's where I'm always usually at. If I'm not watching anything, I'm on Netflix. Like I love watching documentaries. So if I don't watch documentaries about artists or performers, then I'm watching something like I fell into that crack documentary, and that was
and then
scary but
like,
real.
you might like this. You might like this. I'm like, how
Yeah,
many
that's
crack
how you do
documentaries
it.
are you gonna watch?
Yes, yes, yeah. Because I mean, some stuff doesn't grab my attention span, and some stuff is just I'm never probably going to gravitate right away because I'll be like, it's depressing. I don't want to. I don't want to get into that. Um,
I was watching. I watched one serial killer uh, documentary
oh,
on like the Night Stalker, and then they're like, you might like this, and I'm like, I don't want to watch all these
all
serial
of these,
killer.
yeah.
I don't want to come up on some list somewhere like all he does is watch serial killer. Man.
Right, yeah.
He's about to do something. Um,
I know. I put stuff on my list that I haven't even thought about watching. Like I have stuff that I check and then I go, I'm not in the mood to watch that. I usually go back and watch the same stuff. I have to admit, like even when the whole Bridgerton cult developed. I
Oh, is
watched
that
it.
the what? Is that the love story joint?
Yeah, with the British guy, Regé Jean Pierre.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't even know what it's about.
That's the thing. It's like to me, it's like it's not the type of thing you watch if you're single, because it'll just make you just want someone like him bad.
Is it like a Prince Charming?
Well, it's more of just like it's just more about it's like a period show, so it's like, but it's just the fact that the dynamic between him and this really white pale girl, and they develop this relationship, and you kind of forget almost that they're different, but
But
it's just
isn't he black though?
he's
Like he's mixed or something?
mixed. I know he's got something African in him. It's I thought it was Ethiopian, but I found out it was something else. But
But it takes place in older times.
yeah, it's a period. Yeah, it's a period time. It's like almost like if you saw like what was that Amadeus
Would he
or
be a prince if he was?
he's a duke. He is a duke, and
Do
she
they have
falls.
black dukes though?
Who knows? I don't even know if they were really considering that. I think honestly they treated it like I think they tried to explain it like he was derived from another branch of slaves or something, and then
He had a black father and he had a rich mother.
It was like from the other time, yeah, something. But he was hot, so I think that's really basically what the lust was with that. And there were a lot of sex scenes. I was actually shocked. I was sitting there going, "Damn, these people bone a
Oh,
lot."
word. So that's
Oh,
what. That's why people got all fired up.
that's why. So that's why I say if you're single and you're feeling lonely, not the show to watch. I watched it strictly because I'm like, F it. As long as I was home by myself and my mom's not going, what is all that heavy breathing down there? Like I don't even want her asking me questions.
Milady, would you prop your buttocks up? Let me
Sometimes they would
do
just go,
my damage.
they would just cut from a scene if they're dancing, and the next thing you know, there's some guy in the corner like banging some girl up against a tree, and it's just like, the hell?
Where
Like,
art thou money? Okay, where is
yeah.
my money?
Well, there'd be, and then there'd be because they kind of tried to twist the idea that all elite people were all white. Like some of these people were derived from like I don't know Moor ancestry or something. Like there was a tie to all of it. It's been so long I don't remember, but
Can we get it? Can we get a Zulu tribe series? That would be nice.
something's coming, I'm sure, because at this point,
Can we remake Shaka Zulu?
why not?
Can we get a Fela Kuti series or some shit?
I know I've seen a Fela Kuti documentary on Netflix, so something will pop. You never know. I mean, look, at this point, there's the music, the whole music vibe of that. I mean, now that they're finally speaking of music, they're well, I guess they're pushing it back, but they're re-releasing Respect with Jennifer Hudson because she was the only one that really had Aretha's blessing to play her, but they're finally dropping the movie now because I think they were supposed to drop it earlier this year. And then all these other remakes came before. So I think they just let them have their time before she kills this performance.
Mm.
And then same thing with Whitney. I mean, Whitney had so many bios. I didn't want to see any of them really. I think I only saw one, and I'm like, okay, that's all I can stand. Like, because they're all going to kind of skate over how drug addicted she really was. But
it's funny because one of my friends is actually Bobby Brown's cousin, so he's been putting me on for years about the backstory. So I'm like,
it's so sad.
I'm like, bro,
lost his son too, and then he had lost.
No,
it's just. I mean, you can't tell me that man's not in the pit of depression right now.
But yeah, my boy, he actually used to go on tour with New Edition back in the day.
Mm.
So his job was to wake everybody up like during the shows and stuff like so. He was telling me some wild stories, but
I'm sure because I mean that movie when they did that movie was.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's so good.
And I'm a New Edition fan.
Oh, it was so good because I remember that's what spun off the actual Bobby movie because that kid who played him did him so well that they decided he would be the Bobby Brown movie. So when they branched off and did the Bobby Brown movie, I'm like, that just made perfect sense.
Like I'm always using I was like, my brother he said something, and I was like, oh, I was like, stop being sensitive, like Ralph President, okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because there's always that story later. You'll find out that Ralph did feel some type of way about Johnny later, but
My.
How you gonna have a problem with a man that sounds like that? Like, come on, you.
Boy, my boy was telling me some stories. I'm not gonna even break that on your show, but
No. I mean, at this point, I can imagine because I mean, now it's like Ralph walking around looking like a pimp now.
Is he?
Well, he has that pimpish look now. Like I don't feel like he's as attractive as he was when he was young. I mean, he's still a good looking guy, but I just look at him and I feel like I've seen him on the corner somewhere. Like he just looks a little cracked out or something.
He's like crack-ish.
Crack-ish.
But not cracked. But not cracked out.
Yeah, because they still keep they were trying to still finesse tours, even though every time they would do it, when they had Bobby on there for a while, he physically couldn't keep up with it. I remember Wendy Williams was clowning him hard when they showed that one clip of them dancing. They said Bobby was like,
he's like every little step.
Yeah, he was just like after a while, he's like, damn. He's like, I didn't know y'all did this much stepping, Yeah. And in my head, I just was like, stop. And age sneaks up on you crazy. I'm sitting here looking at myself in the mirror going, the fuck?
It don't crack.
I know, but it's just
it might bend, but it doesn't crack. Like I feel like black don't crack; it just bends a little bit.
It does.
I feel like if I lost like maybe 30, I'd be
really. Shit, I gained 50 at least. I feel like my neck is bigger than my ass now.
since I tore my ACL, I've gained like 45 pounds.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's me just from transitioning into my 40s. So that's why I say, like, as many people have been telling me, you need to take a walk every day. And I'm just like, as it's getting warmer, no. But even when it wasn't that warm, I still, I get glued to when I'm working from home, to my laptop, to the point where I'm like, I only get a half an hour break. And Lord knows sometimes when I ADD and I'm not online, they all know I'm not online. So it's like, you think I'm going to take a walk around during a work day when I'm supposed to still be working? No.
I'm trying to walk it. As soon as my allergies, I got to go through this 1 month phase where I stay in the house.
Yeah.
And then once I get used to it after a month, then I can walk outside. Because if I walk around the block, I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
It's great.
That'd be a great time to enter your clip that goes, wow.
Yeah. It's literally like someone like getting jumped by allergies. They're sitting and waiting there with like baseball bats. I get lumped up, I get home, and I'm like,
well, I get the delayed reaction. Like sometimes even if it doesn't hit me right away and I take my allergy medicine before, because I take this natural one that dissolves on your tongue because I don't like any of the Claritin or anything. They either give me a reaction or they don't work. And so I tried this natural one from Highlands, and every time I take 2 in the morning or whatever, I take 2 later in the day, I'm good. But that in-between period where all of a sudden it'll be like 4 o'clock and I wouldn't have done anything, not swept or anything, and all of a sudden it's just my right eye just decides like it's going to burn and then it starts itching. And next thing you know, I'm sitting here going, the whole feeling, it just comes out of nowhere. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know what the hell triggered it, I'm not near any dust. I'm only like that when I'm at my friend's place. When I was over her house last weekend, it was like when the cats get too comfortable near me, the hair and everything, it starts to trigger me. But as long as I get some water and I take some pills, I'm good. But her one cat was like living behind me on the couch, and I just was like, I love you, child. You're so cute, but god dang it, get away from me.
I used to be allergic to cats, and then my girl had a cat. We had a cat for like 10 years, right? So then I got used to it. But the first year was like, it was I felt it.
Yeah, I mean, it's better that, because I think when my friend lived in her apartment that were hardwood floors, I think I was fine. But it was when one time she was on a carpet and it was just like all in the carpet, hair everywhere. And I think eventually I started to realize like I was getting bad allergies from being around her and the cats and the hair. Because God forbid if I stay over and sleep on that couch, like that's where the cats live. And I come home and there's all this hair on my towel and my covers. And I'm just like, ugh. She's like, they're cats. What do you think they're supposed to do? And I'm just always going to be like, yeah, but it's just too much. You got 3 of them. Shit. It's not just one cat. It's like there's one here and there's 2 over there,
Like cats, like dogs are just like happy to be here.
Yeah.
Like cats are like smarter than you, and they're like, what's the Wi-Fi password? Like they're on their own shit. They're like planning shit. They got shit.
They're dominant. They know how to rub against you, when to rub against you.
They know what they want. Very smart. Very smart.
True story. I mean, I slept over a house one time. I had my cover over me because I'm like, I know they roam, so I don't want them on me. So I cover my head. And all of a sudden, I was waking up, and I'll never forget. I was stretching or something. I still had the cover over me, and I knew one of them was near me because I could hear it. And I was just like, "Oh, here comes try it." Next thing you know, I'm like, a cat just sat on my head, and I'm sitting there going, "Did he just put his ass on my face?" Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there going, "Yo," and he's mad comfortable. I'm sitting there going, no. I think eventually he got up and just kind of jumped off me, but I was just like, he just had his ass on my face.
Next time you see a cat, look at their eyes. If you don't see an alien or reptilian in that bitch, like I'm not even like you start turning on the news and now they're like talking about UFOs like it's a normal shit. Like I'm like I saw this CBS 60 Minutes and I'm like, are we just talking about UFO sightings?
Yeah,
And now they're like
co-signing, yeah.
They're breaking open like Pandora's box and like letting like military pilots like speak openly about
seeing UFOs.
UFO sightings.
Yeah, I know.
Well, wait, like when did it? Then I start thinking, I'm like, look at your cat and then look at their eyes, and you're like, how is this little furry creature got alien alligator type eyes? Think about it.
I think one of her cats, I will definitely say that I worry about that one, but the other two, no.
Imagine that would be a real series, like where we realize all these pet cats were actually aliens.
Oh,
that's a good movie.
Very smart. It would be a good movie
because they're in everyone's home already. They figure out how you live. They're like, this motherfucker doesn't put the Twitter feet down. Nothing. He's got a shitty diet. Like he likes the Eagles. How do we overcome this society?
How do we take over? Yeah.
And then they were saying that something was up in the orbit in space that could land in. And here we are talking about the Eagles religiously, and we got all this UFO shit, satellite about to drop somewhere in Philly. I don't know where it's going to drop, but I was like, we got another world war about to embark on. Like, there's some real shit going on.
Here goes some. I think somebody was convinced. They're like, they don't want to be here. There's some COVID here. Take that shit elsewhere. There's that clip I always hear Mulatto, the rapper, going, "Take that shit elsewhere. don't bring it here."
Like, what is the alien gonna do in Philly? Like, the alien's gonna show up. Where's the best place to get a cheesesteak?
Get a cheesesteak. I hear
they ain't gonna watch the Phillies play. They ain't gonna watch the Flyers play.
They're gonna look at us like, I don't know how you torture yourself with this crap.
they might go to a Sixers game. Eagles, I'm sure they'll watch the Eagles game, but
yeah, well, they'll react to everybody once they're back in the link. They'll be just
some wild shit, man.
Oh my god.
People aren't talking about the real things that we should be talking about. But we talk about the Eagles religiously every day.
Religiously. There's always a reason to talk about a sports point. I mean, I see some of the tweeters on a daily basis when I'm not even tweeting anything, and I'll just be like, these people think about sports every fucking day.
I do. I wake up and like some real drastic like shit happened overseas, and I'm like, did we sign anyone today? Yeah. We good? How much is in the cap? Okay. Well, what happened? A war just happened? What word?
A rocket could land here, and everyone's still talking about, yo, I still think they should have got that cornerback in the third round.
They're like, just like there's a boat stuck in the Panama Canal. Like, word?
Right. Do you realize people are still getting hung and killed? Yeah. But y'all want to talk about this shit? Like, they paying you for your salary. No, they're not. Oh,
but I find it as like I don't know if it's an escape from reality, or like I don't know if I'm using the Eagles as something to focus my brain on.
Yeah.
While going through this.
Same, and I think the Twitter has been a blessing in that sense that it has definitely given you things to think about that are nothing related to what you're currently worried about, because they will throw some bullshit out there, theories. Somebody will say a funny random tweet that has nothing to do with anything, and I'll bust out laughing in the middle of the day. And then, you got the people who will always tweet random stuff like, how can you like Captain Crunch? And then it starts a whole fucking thread
I
for
love some.
weeks on end about
I love some Captain Crunch and
I
the
know, I do.
berries, no berries. I'll love it.
You saw that one then that everybody was rotating retweeting because they were just like, I don't know why you would put peanut butter in cereal. And I'm like, I'm a boring person. Like I get the original. I stay with the original. I never venture pretty much
You
anywhere else.
never got the berries in your Captain Crunch?
No. I thought I was being adventurous by the honey bunches of oats that I got with
Honey Nut
almonds.
Cheerios.
No. The one that had the frosted almonds. I thought that was a new cereal. Then this other tweeter that I talked to was like, "It's not new," and I'm like, "Yes, it is. It just came in." He goes, No, mom. I'm telling you, it's not new." And then I think I found out or looked up something, and I I confirmed with it later. I'm like, "You're right. It's not new." It's like I told you.
Shout out to Birdman. I was on his West Coast Birds podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
he had a question for me. He's like, 15 seconds. I'll ask you like 5 cereals that don't contain fruit. I give you 15 seconds, and he's like, "You nervous? You got pressure?" I'm like, "No pressure." And I'm like, boom, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a cereal connoisseur." I'm like,
That's your title.
I've eaten all the cereals.
Yeah.
Remember Kix back in the day?
Yes, I remember Kix.
It was dry. It was like dry and lame, but it had some kind of taste to it.
Yeah, it did. I don't know if we had it here, but I do remember seeing it. I probably ate it at somebody
I'm a
else.
big fan of corn pops, though.
That was my sister. I ate them dry. I never put milk in them. Because when you used to have that variety pack you would take to school, I used to always OD on that one and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I would
Dig
never
them,
put milk.
honey smacks,
Honey Smacks, all the stuff that could give me a buzz.
sugar
Yeah.
crisp.
I remember Sugar Crisp, but I didn't eat those. No. Did you have the cookie chocolate chip crunch or whatever with the little chocolate? Yeah, I'm sure you did. I didn't like the milk making stuff soggy unless it was either Cheerios or
Rice Krispies, chocolate Rice Crisp,
Cocoa
Rice Krispies,
Krispies, just
Cocoa
the
Krispies.
chocolate milk at the end to drink it. Yeah, that's it.
I would take a bath in that shit. Do the backstroking.
But it's discussions like that can go on for freaking days. Like those threads can continue. Okay. And that's a good distraction because someone will always add to it that something you never thought about. And next thing you know,
Honeycombs.
Fucking yeah.
Honeycombs. Then you're like, oh, I like my honeycombs a little soggy, crunchy.
Yeah. See,
Just a little bit of sog and then with crunch.
Yeah.
But if you have a conversation and you talk too long and you come back and your shit is like soggy, then it's no good. It's got to be soggy, crunchy.
Not everybody's soggy. It's got to be at least 30% soggy, and then the rest can be crunchy.
I mean, there's also the hot dog is a sandwich that can go on.
Never ended, and I always thought that was an easy answer, but everybody keeps finding ways to just.
It is a sandwich.
It is a sandwich to me. Anything you put in bread is a sandwich. I didn't know what the debate was. I was just like, why is this still being contended? Like I don't.
Because it's America.
I know we find
home of the free.
Yeah, that's a problem. Now we
land of the brave.
People
like, I have my opinion. I have my right.
That's
okay.
been the problem. Social media ain't for everybody. Common sense ain't common. Like now you realize so many people do not deserve a mic.
We're like, I'm gonna put raisins in the potato salad. Yeah.
The potato salad. That's the new thing that's on TikTok. I saw recently. Like people can find that imprint of somebody running, and they're like, when I found out that had raisins in the potato salad, I'm just running.
It was that skit by whatchamacallit, on SNL.
Channing, yeah, when he did raisins in the potato salad.
Karen put raisins in the potato salad. Yeah.
He was good at that. He killed that. But yeah, no, I mean, at first for a while, sometimes you have to take breaks from Twitter because sometimes people can, and luckily a lot of that has been cut down from people coming back. You know, all the bots start coming at you. But
I've definitely taken a lot of breaks. There's just a lot of with the world being as crazy as it is, like to bring in like people's negative thoughts on top of like people who just don't realize they might have mental issues, and they just go to like instead of people like I don't do therapy. Yeah, but your therapy is actually the timeline. Like you just throw your shit out to all these people, and we're the wall, and it sticks to us. And then you're like, oh well, I don't need therapy. I'm like, well, you're actually talking to all these people here.
Right.
You're getting it off your chest in some way or form,
That's
but
what it
not
is.
but not actually realizing that you might have some kind of. Some people could be bipolar, like because we're seeing like two different attitudes. Like
I'm saying.
some people are drunk tweeters, like you get shit faced and they go to Twitter and
Like 2 in the morning. I'll sit there if I happen to still be up and I'll be like, the funniest thing I've noticed now is this trend of people going, is everybody up? And if nobody answers, they're like, okay, fine. Chocolate chips are the best shit. They'll say something random and I'll sit there going, see, I could respond to this, but I'm going to ignore it because obviously they don't want somebody to respond.
it was somebody's tweet. It was I'm not gonna put it. I'm gonna put his ad on blast, but he was like, Nick Sirianni is a dilf, and I'm like, someone sends me this in my DMs, and like, is he all right? And then the next day, he's like,
Oh, it was a guy.
yeah, and he's like, like, I can't believe I tweeted this. I must have been drunk last night.
Ooh, yeah. That was
I was like,
liquor.
hey man, more power to you.
No judging. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
But that's sometimes I just log it. That's what I log into Twitter for the laughs and like the quick laughs or the memes or like, you know what I mean?
I started catching on to Josiah Johnson's tweet.
Oh, that's my guy, dude. I was gonna say him before you even said it.
Yeah. Because he's got his timing is immaculate. I don't know if this dude just sits around and watches stuff at the same time. Everybody's on Twitter and just push a meme.
People are like, oh man, your memes are. I'm like, I was like, I'm trying to get on Josiah's level.
Right,
like
right. Because I would always crown you for a while. Then all of a sudden I noticed when I started following him and then his partner, who I think is cute, on his Buckets podcast they sometimes do. And I was just like, yo, Josiah be on point. And then all of a sudden watching one of the games this past weekend, I was just like, and then someone even said they're like, yo, throw some money his way. He was on point.
He got the tip jar open now. Like,
yeah, now everybody got a tip jar. I'm like, yeah, he gonna catch me in a weak moment. I throw money every now and then I get paid, and he gonna catch me in a weak moment.
Someone was asking me like, yo, man, I haven't seen you put out memes in a long time. I was
right,
like,
yeah, you've been quiet.
I was like, yeah, I haven't been in the. I was like, I've been doing a lot of like drama and stress. Like, yeah, I got to be in the right frame of mind to do like some memes. But I did one yesterday. It was like one of those like spring training of like memes, and I was like threw one out there. It was Russell Westbrook, and his mouth was like wide open, and then I put his head on Russell Wilson matched with his ex-wife with her mouth wide open. You remember when he got drafted?
Yeah.
And their mouths were like wide open, and you're like, I didn't know when anyone's mouth could stretch that far. And everyone was like, oh, I would have. I'm glad Russ left her after that. Like, I was like, just because her mouth was.
Oh yes. I know that girl's face is classic. Every time I look at that, I'm like, oh God, he dated someone.
Aren't they matching faces though?
Yes, they are. Pretty much, yeah.
But it didn't really.
That meme is everywhere.
Didn't really get that much love, but it was it's my spring training. I put it out at like 1 a.m. in the morning.
See, that's why. And you know how when you don't see if you're missing stuff on the feed that doesn't go back when they repeat old tweets later. I could have missed it because I would have said something.
I got a new iPhone, and I
noticed. I'm looking at your case. I'm like, okay, dude.
My Android. This is gold too. First iPhone ever, though.
Yeah, no, I refuse to go there until I absolutely have to. I've been Android since Bell turned into Verizon. That's how old I am.
The video aspect, lovely.
Oh yeah, I expected it. It better be.
But other than that, it's the functionality of it, just like the way things work with it, amazing.
Do you still have to get used to it? Because I feel like even when I was using my friend's iPhone that one time, I was like, oh my God, I feel like my fingers are too fat for this. And
Android's definitely, they'd be like, I could hold a gig on my Android. I got to pay for a service for extra storage space for 200 gigabytes. For $3 a month? What?
I'm about to say, wait, for what? For 12?
Yeah, for 200 gigabytes.
Oh, for 200. Oh, Jesus.
And I got to pay you extra $3 a month?
Look, they upped our protection of the mobile protection policy to like $2, even including my tablet. So I'm just like, for what? For the same thing? Like, what are you protecting any different? So they get the notice because they're trying to cover their ass because they know that Verizon will charge you up the wazoo for whatever. And people
And
always say, "I think it's the mafia. I think it's the mafia." I'm like, I don't care. I'm not jumping ship.
I don't like to change anything. I've been with Sprint for like 20 something years. Like
Yeah,
we have like a relationship together.
right. Me
And
too.
then
I'm loyal.
Sprint,
I'm a
but
loyal
then
Verizon.
Sprint's now T-Mobile, and now I'm a T-Mobile customer. You know
Uh,
how much it triggers me that the fact that even the pink matches T-Mobile. Like I wasn't ready for that. No one told me. Like I'm like to the end. Like I'm the friend to the end. I'm the most loyal.
yes.
So the fact that now I'm T-Mobile, it
You're like, I
bothers
could
the
have betrayed
shit
you.
out of me. It bothers the shit out of me. I'm like, I didn't sign up for this. Like
Right. No,
I
I hear
thought
you.
me and you Sprint were gonna go to
Go to the top.
the yellow. We went to wear yellow, and now T-Mobile and my
Yeah,
bills.
I know. When they keep merging without letting you know, and then it's like, that means I ain't got no choice. But I'm not going to jump ship. Now what am I supposed to do? I know. When Bell became Verizon at first, I didn't know what that meant. But then I had that big ass phone, and it was nice to go down to just like a small little flip at the time. And then it was the Razor.
We're gonna do holograms soon. They're like,
Yeah,
bitch, meet me at the
exactly.
game.
We talking
Dude,
like Princess Leia to a friend. Meet me up at no, shoot.
yeah, like Tupac hologram. Like
Right.
I'm at the tailgate. Jump in.
Actually, it will be kind of fly, but you can't tell me it's not going to like encourage more radiation and possibly give you cancer to do all that. You know what I mean? Like, I would try to hold it like this far, like, yeah, okay, I got you. All right.
Uh,
Put my sunglasses on.
I mean, what everything gives you cancer nowadays. Yeah.
Everything.
My
Yeah.
boy was just like, yo. I was like, what shot did you get? I got that Moderna because that Johnson and Johnson. I don't trust nothing. Johnson baby powder give you cancer. Uh,
That's true.
he's like, I hope you don't put Johnson Johnson on your nuts. I was like, baby powder. I was like, let me go in my pop's bathroom. I see baby powder and Johnson. And
Right.
I gotta go. I'm like, yo, should I throw this shit out? He's like, get it out of the house right now. I was like, word? It's like we
Powder,
talk,
all that stuff.
we
Yeah.
talking about UFOs. We talking about Johnson and Johnson.
5G. Everything gonna give you something. Yeah. I know. That's why I can't listen to everybody because after one, I'm like, fuck the world, save yourself. Because at the end of the day, my body's not gonna react probably the same way as your body is. I say, look, I'm just very spiritual person, so I'm just like, if it's my time, then so be it.
I was I was I was I was telling my brother, I was like, yo, man, like if it's like I was like, if we get to a moment where like I can't, I was like, just take my black ass to the ocean, and I was like, we'll plan a fishing trip. Like black man falls off boat, dies in the ocean.
Yeah.
That'll be easy.
Yeah,
Like it's not that hard to explain. Black man can't swim in the water.
you
I can
know,
see it.
he's bound to fail.
I can't really swim. I can't really swim no. I can't. I can swim. I can't.
Yeah.
I
I
can't.
can't I don't have
I
trust.
can't float.
Yeah. I've,
Um,
I've I have trust issues with the floating. Even though I know I could do it, but I just mentally I'm
that's
like, this
it's
shit.
that conspiracy shit.
It is, and also too, you just think that I'm too heavy. Meanwhile, fat
We
people
got
can.
trust issues, man.
We do got trust
Like,
issues. You're
yeah.
right. It's
They just
it's
say
small
like
in mine.
float on your back. Like I just learned how to float on my back like in 2017.
Yeah, I
I
was
think maybe after winning the Super Bowl, like shit changed, like with trust.
look. I'm still waiting for the people who say we're gonna get powers from these shots. I haven't gotten any powers yet. I mean, if that was the case, I would give me some money now so I could just get my penthouse somewhere. You know,
Like, oh, my power is good credit. Oh, right.
that's what I'm
Let
talking
me,
about.
let
Bitch,
me.
put me up to 900. Whatever gets me to buy anything I want. Up my credit score, I'm gold. You can stop tracing me, asking me, do I need help with another loan? No, bitch.
Hey
I'm
man,
done.
I paid off my student loans,
Yeah.
and I was very excited. And then I heard this idea of like not forgiving people for their loans. I'm like,
He's like, what?
and people are like, oh, you're one of them. I'm like, I'm just saying, if someone would have let me know, I would have.
Right, I wouldn't have killed myself. I
I would
know.
have not paid these loans off, but I would chill with y'all.
Exactly. The
I was
TikTokers are making all the jokes. Got themselves on the phone. I'm on hold trying to tell Biden to pay for my loans.
I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to. I was like, I'm all with the Robin Hood vibes, but I was just like, I wish somebody would have told me because I would not pay them.
Could have just helped brother out.
I was like, that's where I'm at.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would have had it. I would have been pushing a mayonnaise colored Benz, a Miracle Whip. Okay, if I had the chance, but I was sitting here paying off my shit, and now
exactly. With my
someone was like, "You're one of those." I was like, "What do you mean one of those?"
Yeah.
It's like you don't get it. I'm like, "Come on, man, I get it."
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, if someone gave me the
right,
that's all I'm asking.
That's all the brother wanted, is a heads up, just to tell me, do I need to kill myself?
Yeah, if we all don't pay together, let me know. Like, are we all not paying our loans? Okay.
Because when did I not take that class? Because anytime, just on my mom wait till the umpteenth time, the umpteenth week to pay for her taxes. She waited for a reason. Like she wasn't rushing.
It's like if I've been paying my loans and your friends haven't been paying their loans, and they were all doing this. It's like when you find out your friends have a group chat and you're not in it. You're like,
right, that's it is. You feel like you left out of movement. Yeah, it's
I was like, I'm not in the group chat.
Right, it's FOMO. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? you see me over here, right? You see me bleeding, trying to keep myself high. Whatever. I never
fear of paying off loans, man. I got whatever that is.
Right.
But I did pay it off, and I felt like
yeah.
I was like it weirdly felt like I was finally responsible.
Well, that's how I felt like when I paid off my car before I totaled it. It was that literally 6 months of like, oh, one less burden to bear, and then bam.
All I've been doing
that was nice.
I got about $2,500 in my car loan, and I'm sitting here looking at new ones already.
Right. No, every day I'm behind a nice RAV4. I wish I had one, but then I'm like, well, you don't drive on highways like that, so.
But now you have YOLO moments after this pandemic.
Yeah.
You're like, might as well buy another one because we're not going to be here very soon.
Exactly. I'm like, look it up. What the hell else? You know?
I never
come and suck my blood. I want to be able to say I've drove a nice car.
I had a Pontiac Grand Am for 20 years before my car now. And the only reason I got it is because my car broke down driving back and forth to 4th and John shows between New York and Philly.
Right.
And my car literally broke down on the road.
Yeah.
So I had to get another car.
Right.
So I've never had a nice car.
Yeah, I always got used. I never got a brand new one. I think the car that I had after I totaled the car outside my apartment that day, I got a new car, but then I couldn't hold those payments. Like 6 months, like less than 6 months later, it's like I had to get out of my lease, and I had to have my mom help me, and I got my car taken. So it's like
New Jack City.
Oh, that's an embarrassing feeling, especially when you're trying to not tell your mom how broke you are. Then the fucking sheriff comes and tells you, the repo man comes to your door, knocking on your mom's door, like, is this your car? We have to take it. And I'll be like, what? And that was gangster in the middle of the fucking night. Like, that was just so embarrassing.
I remember I was gonna have it was back in the day. I had a date, right? And I had you're running late, but like I'm about to be, I got this big date, and then you get to your car and it's they got the shit the wheel lock on there for like not paying your tickets, and I'm like,
yeah, the boot.
So then you got to tell them like, well, see what happened is the way my car tires set up.
I don't know what that is.
My car is on lock. Literally, I can't drive anywhere. So
right. Yeah.
Does that mean that we're not going to go on a date? I'm like, yeah. Well, you should just be honest. You don't have to give me some story. I'm like, no, this literally.
Yeah.
my shit is locked up right now.
Right.
But
yeah, she probably thought you were giving her the cold shoulder. It's like, no,
I was like,
I
no,
literally cannot drive my car.
I got about 8 tickets I didn't know about.
Yeah. And, oh God. And that's the thing, like that's why it makes me, I'm mad at myself for even letting it get to that point. But again, I used to always pride myself on paying everything on time. And somewhere between when I moved into my first apartment to the second apartment, it was like somewhere I got brain dead and irresponsible. And there's nothing worse, especially with my mom at that time. Now,
You live and you learn.
you do.
AJ.
And that's why I say, like, I look back at it now, I'm just like, well, I had a hiccup, and it just cost me a lot. But if I got another car now, I wouldn't want to pay for it. So I know that's probably not going to happen. So I'm probably going to be renting off and on if I want to drive again.
I don't
Or,
know, man. Like I want a Jeep Cherokee
hmm,
because there some Gayle overcame me. I was just like, yo, I want just to feel a little bit more protected.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
4-wheel drive. I got like a Hyundai Genesis. I'm doing like, which is the car is really fast, but
Hmm.
I'm doing like donuts out in the parking lot
Yeah.
if it rains.
Right.
I'm like
That's not.
now I'm a responsible grown up now. Like I need a safe car, reliable 4-wheel drive.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad used to beat that in my head. Like some of the stuff I retained from him is from him constantly telling me over and over, you need a V6 or you need all-wheel drive. And I was like, I didn't know the fucking difference. Like my first Camry had 4-wheel drive. I didn't know what that meant until I couldn't get up the freaking hill. That we have a steep ass hill, and it was one of them bad snowstorms. My dad was like, "You gotta get in the car." So that's what led me to the Rav4. And thank God my brother-in-law knew somebody at the dealer in Colmar, and that's how I got my first Rav. But yeah, it was. And then it got to the point where it was like, I think I drove so heavy-footed that I didn't realize that I had probably caused maybe the gas pedal be a little loose. I don't know what happened, but it freaked me out one time driving, and I think that's what started all the anxiety about it. Because for some reason, I just couldn't. I felt like I couldn't stop. I felt like my gas pedal was stuck. It just like mentally messed with my head for a bit.
Heavy
But
footed ass.
I know, yeah. And that's why I said my mom would test my car by myself. She would drive around. She said, "I don't see anything wrong with your car." And I'm just like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "'Cause the pedal just feels like." She was like, "Well, it's a little loose," but she's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "Well, every now and then it would just accelerate sometimes, and I just couldn't control it."
AJ, you shouldn't be driving with those club shoes, okay? You like.
I know. I wonder if I'd have the same effect now. I say have one hemp gummy, and I'd probably be totally fine. I'd probably be like, everything's gravy. It's fine, you know. But yeah. All right, Gail. I don't want to keep you from eating because Lord knows I got some leftover pasta to eat. But I just wanted to see how this came off. So now that I see that I can play with this.
And we were live. What platform are we on right now?
From my YouTube channel.
Oh, we're on YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. So yeah, I'm on from my Birds of a Feather, AJ Jones channel, which I did with Eddie. I tried out with my friend Eddie when we were doing it during the draft, and it was funny because only his friends really were the ones who signed on the broadcast. But it was funny because every now and then they would say something random. I was just like, "Oh, that's what it's like to see comments." Oh,
I mean, you get to a point where, like, if you if you're just like you're being yourself, you're in your zone, you don't even realize there's comments. But when you're trying to bring people up on the show, you're always like monitoring, like.
Right. That's what I was doing. Like when we'd have dead moments when it was in between.
But I feel like right now, me and you just like we're having a conversation.
Yeah. No, and nobody even knew I was going live because usually if I know I'm going live, then somebody will be like, "Oh," and then they'll tune in. But I'm kind of glad because then I'd probably like every now and then, like,
we could have had like 2 people laugh at our jokes.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like most of the people who signed on that night at the NFL chat were mostly Eddie's friends, and so Morgan was like, "Oh my gosh, I love your makeup." I'd be like, "Oh, okay, like, let me find out which one was what."
Well, these kind of like shows are like this is like checking in on your peoples, like having a conversation.
That's what I wanted.
It's not structured to the point where you're like, I got to talk about whatever.
Right. I know.
I'm always talking about, well, his background in sports and he runs a 5.840 and the length of his arm. Like I get way, like the Eagles are like 10% of what I do, who I am. But like
Half the chats that you guys even have when you guys go live. Sometimes I notice y'all can go left. I crack up all the time because
but now we're talking about shaving our balls on our podcast now.
so you know everybody's got the also too because when I watch Inside the Birds they have to do that read with that product too and I crack up. I liked it more when Todd and them and Trey wrote it on Tales from the Blind Side. Oh, it would be so hilarious. Because when they're not ready for it, and you can tell when Todd's not ready to promote his brand, it's so funny. Trim your balls, shave your balls.
We'd be like, "Did you use this thing?" And I'm like, "No, I have not used this yet." I still find it weird that 4 dudes in a room we're sitting here talking about
Shaving your balls.
I was like, I got to get used to this, but
it's an important product, though. I mean, honestly, if you're going to talk about it, it's all guys talking about balls, beer, ball, balls.
I mean, it's a whole new world.
It is, but it's like it's when you don't expect people to bust that read in the middle of a podcast, it cracks you up because it's like, wait, what? Where are we going?
I'll be trying to be like breaking news. The Manscaped.
It's even funnier when Evan just all of a sudden, hey, you shave your balls.
I was like, do your balls look like Ryan Fitzpatrick on a hot summer day? Well,
and you can always tell when nobody's ready for it. They're just like, what? No, do you shave your balls? Like, for real. And when he has to do the read, I crack up because I'm just like, oh, Lord, they got to. Now they got to read Manscaped. Oh, it's too funny. I said to myself, look, I will offer my voiceover free services if y'all ever don't want to read that. And I will read it and send it to you. I'll be like, just hit play.
Like, this man's voice is the voice of an angel. I don't believe she has testicles.
We all love a sexy read. Shave your balls. Be a man. Manscaped.
How come they have no shaved man like mangina? It could be mangina.
And look,
that would be a he/she version, the mangina.
I know we have to be for the LGBTQIA elemental P community. You know.
Hey, we could totally start mangina, and compete.
There we could. I like it. Because I mean, at this point, you gotta span all markets. Be fair. Mangina.
Or what's a female version of the a masculine vagina? Would be a mangina.
It would be a mangina, but I remember Chelsea Handler used to always call it a hot pocket. Hot pocket.
It's funny. We were on her. She came down to the tailgate. Do you know that? Do you remember that time?
Chelsea Handler?
Yeah.
No, I did not.
So she did that podcast on like white privilege. She did on Netflix.
Okay. And
so she interviewed us down at the tailgate, and she was like talking about our experiences, and I'm just like, I'm sitting here with Chelsea Handler in a F1 talking about Eagles, white privilege, and like this is weird. And then she went up and down like F1, and then she found like some real, some borderline, the stuff that they were saying. I was like, oh God, it's gonna make us all look bad. So we were like, nah, we don't want to be a part of this anymore because it's because like if this thing goes viral, it's not. It was just.
With it, yeah.
But we didn't know that she was gonna do that.
Oh, okay.
But she was funny.
I know what she was trying to do. I think she was one of those people that just felt like they had to do something visual. Even though I did watch some of her stuff, and I did watch the documentary. Yeah, I did too. Yeah, I appreciate her. I mean, she's always been that type of person. I said, look, she's always down for the cause, but she has to realize that most of her career was mostly because white men took advantage of her.
Well, she actually said it on the show.
Yeah, I mean, she knows.
It's kind of interesting that she.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know
how. I know. I read one of her books too. I used to read some of her books, and then the last one when she went to Africa, I was so bored with it. I said, "All right, she's lost it. I can't. I'm not interested in this one." But her first two were so funny.
Yeah, we went from Manscaped to Hot Pockets to
Chelsea Handler. Watch the jump.
We went from UFOs.
Versatile. I know. Only touched on the birds.
Well versed.
Well versed. We're so talented, Gayle. We are multi. diverse topics.
Hey, I'm all about these podcasts.
Me too. Sometimes I like it to feel like I have more professionalism, but then I'm like, you know what? Maybe spontaneous is better for me. You know, I leave it for those who actually do the research. That's why when I listen to Breezy, I always feel like I'm like, why am I even talking about sports? Because she'd be doing statistics and reading shit.
No,
Just more like opinion.
there's so many. Again, it's like this whole idea of like the way that we look at ourselves. You know what I mean? We were our own worst critics.
Yeah, we are. I know. I mean, honestly, I'm proud that I'm even.
Meanwhile, my brother's on the couch, randomly. AJ, oh,
it's always funny the people who do tell me stuff. Like now, I got 2 people in my job that are part of our meditation group that we have, and they'll be like, "I heard you call Mike yesterday," and I was like, "Oh, did you?" She's like, "Yeah," and so I gave him the heads up today because I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's ringing," and I was like, "Maria," I sent her IM real quick before I signed off. I'm like, "I'm waiting online to Mike. I'm trying to say bye to Natalie," and so then Matt, one of the guys in the group, was like, "Oh my gosh, you were so funny."
Like, my brother, and my father watched that show every day.
Yeah, I do too. It gets me through.
My dad was like, I was walking by to get my lunch. Son, come here. Natalie's leaving. She got some, I was like, Dad, it's been on Twitter. I'm like,
yeah.
So I was actually gonna have my dad say something to her and send it to her.
Oh.
Because I mean, it's again like people say whatever they want to say about like they hate whatever. They've been a part of my dad's been recovering from a stroke for like last 2 years. He watches y'all religiously.
Yeah.
And you're part of his day.
People hate him and her and Natalie and said, "Oh, she's stupid," and all this stuff. And I'm like,
part of my dad's day, man. I'll tell you that. And
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't have any problem with them. I don't take them seriously. I don't take Mike seriously half the time because he just reminds me of my dad. So even when he gets on my nerves, I still watch. I'll be yelling at the TV sometimes, like, "Shut up, that's dumb," And he knows it.
Yeah.
I call into him, I talk to him like he's my dad. I'd be like, sometimes you just need to chill out. Like, just breathe. I was like, you're about to have a heart attack.
Yeah, man. You're the voice of reason. Like, anytime I'll be driving, doing some shit, driving along highway somewhere, and I'm like, this chick is making a lot of sense. That is AJ!
I know. My friend Eddie said the same thing. If he's a rare time, if he's catching me on the radio, and he was like, I think I heard you today. And I'm like, probably. And he was like, yeah. He goes, I caught the end of it, but I said, I think that was AJ. And I said, yeah.
As usually I'll be like, I was 30 seconds in. I'm like, this chick makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I see, this is AJ. I know her. Voice of an angel.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I always say that. I just always like
voice of an angel. Oh, thank you. But yeah,
I appreciate you having me on.
Yes.
I like your backdrop.
I'm definitely gonna add. I had the one with the black and white eagle thing, so I'm gonna do that next time.
If you look at fourthandjohn.com, you will see that your brick wall is the same as the bricks behind you on our website. So
yes.
I'm a big fan of the orange brick. It's got a Philly vibe to it.
It does. That's what we're more familiar with. Because if not, it's like our house is in stucco.
Because people are just like they're like, why you got a brick wall on your website? I was like, well, to your history. Okay.
This is gonna be we need to have a T-shirt that just says "Google it" from now on with every black person. Just wear a T-shirt that says "Google it," like because I'm sick of explaining.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day,
don't appreciate it. Go away.
There's levels to the shit.
Levels.
Like if you don't get it, someone else does. They're like, I don't know why I like this brick. I don't know.
I can't help you.
You might want to look around the city of Philadelphia. There's a lot of bricks.
We appreciate all our buildings. I say everything should, instead of statues, we should just have murals everywhere and brick. I love when I see murals in random neighborhoods too, because I always tell my friend Jen, I'm like, damn statues, let's just paint everything. Let's just paint random acts of, art everywhere.
Have you noticed there's no really big Brian Dawkins murals around?
No, I know, you're right.
I'm giving away shit. Like we should do a Brian Dawkins mural somewhere.
It's blasphemy.
And dedicate that like on a Brian Dawkins day. That's what we do.
We have the Will Smith. We got Kevin Hart. So
maybe I'll fucking paint it.
Right. That should just be a mural project. We can get some real dough for that. Donations. Donations. For the Brian Dawkins mural of South Philly. I agree.
No, that is a great idea.
Why not? I mean, as much as we talk about he's our favorite Eagle, but you don't have him anywhere.
How? You got fucking Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester
Dumbass.
Stallone, knock that daggone statue down. I'm over it.
Oh, I feel like Radio Raheem. Or what's his name? Like,
hate.
what's his name? Like, Sal, you better. Why ain't no black people on the wall, Sal? You know, like, you know what I mean? I feel like, why don't we have a Brian Dawkins statue?
No, it's a good
or a mural.
Or a mural. Because when they did that crap even across from the link, that they supposedly said that they would show our signatures in it, which was bullshit because I don't see mine.
I need a Brian Dawkins mural.
We just need him just coming out the tunnel. Hallelujah! Hallelujah!
Yeah, something.
Just even just the image of him coming out the tunnel when he's doing the crawl.
Yeah, I feel you.
You know,
that's a great idea.
I mean, to me, that makes anybody rally. That would make anybody want to run through a brick wall. Speaking of which,
that's a great idea.
Especially if you're coming off of 95 and you know on that side of the link.
Because then that the art and shit better look amazing too. Like if we pump that shit up and then the shit looks like Tito Jackson with
or what they tried to do to what's his name?
Number 20.
What's his name? That soccer player they made him look all retarded. His face like
yeah. Like you, it's got to be done right.
They were like, no, do that shit over. That's insulting. He looks special.
that is a great idea.
I'm just saying, you know, everybody feels like that's what we remember him most is when he turns into Weapon X and he comes out of the tunnel. Like that's what you need. That image of him doing the swoop.
See, this conversation has peaked.
Productive.
Like this is like
it's a brainstorm. See, we're gonna call this a brainstorm session every now and then.
And we figure out who would paint it, and then we could pick out the artist, and then we get people to fund it, and then we find a spot, and then B-Doc is out in the front. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah! As soon as you just how he felt for the Hall of Fame.
Speaking tongues.
Speaking in tongues.
That would be amazing. Why isn't this?
I know.
I'm an idea guy. If you know, I'm an idea guy. That's what I do.
Look, you always thinking. I'm always look. This could also just be late night inspiration for me because Lord knows it's 10-something. So for some reason, I'm sharper before I go to sleep than I am during the whole damn day.
And I haven't eaten since 1:00.
Yeah, that's not good. I was eating a little bit before we were originally going to set up, and then I was like, oh, let me go get the mail, whatever. And then I was like, oh, let me get my green screen. And then I had to throw it down the steps because I couldn't fit it.
I gotta look in the green screen. All this technology I have. I got cameras. I got everything.
I'm sure you do. Yeah.
I've never had a green screen.
I saw this thing you can put on the back of your chair and everything. So I was like, ooh, that's easy. And then when I got in the mail, I was all excited, and that thing popped out of that thing so quick. I was like, oh my god.
I like to show off my regular stuff here. So.
Cunningham.
Yeah, look, there it is.
There it is. You just put that image on the side of the link and just permanent, just big as day. Or
not even on the link.
No, and it doesn't have to be on the link.
Because we can make it like say Eagle fans come to Philadelphia and they find a spot. See, come on. Why isn't this not been done?
This should have been done. This should have been commissioned from the minute he went in the Hall of Fame. Should have just had a wall.
Because then Eagle fans will come into Philly. Yo, did you go to Tony Luke's to get cheesesteak?
Did you go to Dawkins
get some full crab fries? I'm going to fucking Dawkins. You're like, you know what I mean? Why wouldn't that?
In the heart of South Philly. Yeah, like somewhere in the middle of the shunk where it starts to V, you should just put a mural.
I am making this happen.
We have to find a way, because if there's anybody who's going to be ready to run through, is half of South Philly be ready to run through a wall and they see that. Genius. Just
that gave me life right now.
Good, I'm glad.
Like I was thinking of something to do, like that would be really, and people would want to be involved in.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to paint a mural?
I have no idea. You'd have to look that on the mural website. The
We got
Philadelphia.
10G. We got 10G from the damn Eagles. I mean, from the Eagle fans to burn a jersey. How much?
You know they
Why?
would do that.
Why wouldn't you donate for a mural to be done?
Murals just strictly for Doc coming out of the tunnel just before kickoff. Are you kidding me? That would be commemorated like the week before opening night or whatever. And
But if you pick a place in Philly, like
yeah,
it becomes a landmark.
yeah, it is.
And I feel like our athletes, and especially your beloved in Philly, like I think that would be next level.
That would be, and you know he wouldn't be able to have words if he knew that was happening. He'd be like, "What?
You guys spent how much? I'm
Come
like, what?
on, we love you, B Dog." It would even fun more the closer it got to like September.
I was like, you might if you want to pay us back. Well, thank you. We'll gladly.
My Venmo is, you know, I get a little commission. Now we talking.
I'm like, yes, I was on the Brian Dawkins painting committee back in 2000 and
Nobody knew it. It was a silent club.
2021. We, the Brian Dawkins delegation, we like. I feel like when you're like 70 years old, like I was because of us. Yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yes, I was part of that silent club that nobody talked about because that's what made it silent.
We were the Underground Railroad of the Brian Dawkins.
We were the original founders. Nobody knew, but we aimed to make his name great.
I was the sojourner truth of the Brian
I was the
Dawkins
sojourner.
Revolution.
I am a fan.
I was the Rosa Parks of the Brian. See, I'm just saying this would be amazing. Like you could totally like. When is his birthday?
Great. Oh, I don't even know.
Break it out during his birthday, or
I know if it hasn't already.
It would have been great.
I feel like I've seen people say happy birthday to him, but I feel like it passed. I don't know. It is a great idea though, for real, for real. I think especially before kickoff would be great because that would make everybody hype. Oh no, his birthday is October 13th, 1973.
We the people.
Cosign.
I'm seriously googling like Brian Dawkins.
Right, that's what I just did. Yeah,
Brian Dawkins mural. There's got to be one.
It's not big. Yeah, they don't have. Oh God, here come the ants. Jesus, these ants are ridiculous.
Yo, I was
Yeah, it's just these regular pictures, but yeah, like this picture here, like just to have that, to have this look. Just that.
I mean, you know, Philly word art.
Yep, like the one you have behind you. Yeah.
No, this not Philly word art. This what's the name? Spectre art. He did this.
Oh yeah. I follow him. Yeah, I follow him on my sports page. Yeah.
Maybe he could do it.
Never know.
And then people are gonna like, I need a Reggie White one. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
Right. Oh, somebody got something on Pinterest.
Or Philly word art.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, man.
I'm sure you'd get takers at this point.
Yeah. Well. It has been a pleasure being on the show.
It's definitely been a pleasure. So I'm getting the motors running in your brain.
And I'm always game anytime you want to talk with Eagles.
Yes, as you know, because I go to you or E-Rock or anybody who I know I can talk to through the grapevine about anything Eagles, specifically if it's the truth or not.
So I only speak in truth. Okay.
As I'm saying, so I can't listen to all these 24/7 tweeters that just talk out of deliriousness and impatience.
Goddamn youngins.
They just sit around and just go, I just wish somebody would tweet at me and I'd just be like, can you just stop talking just one fucking day and just live your life, homie? You do have a life outside of this.
You shut your mouth.
They ain't thinking about you this long, that's for sure.
Ain't nobody care about y'all.
Ain't nobody care about your ass. All right, homie.
All right, it was good
Cool,
seeing
sis.
you.
Good
We'll
talking
talk.
to you. Get something to eat before you go to bed.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right.
Hallelujah. All right. Fly, Eagles, fly.